It seems like the AI world just keeps throwing curveballs at us.
Yeah.
And this week, it's Elon Musk and XAI with their new Grok 3 model. I mean, it's making a lot of noise, and we've been digging into some articles and research.
Right.
So we figured let's do a deep dive, see what's what.
Okay.
Like, what actually makes Grok 3 different? How much power are we really talking about?
Right.
And what could this even mean for, for us, for everyone?
Well, they definitely picked an interesting time for the launch, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Live streaming it on Musk's X platform on Monday. It kind of feels like they're throwing down the gauntlet, challenging the big names.
It does, doesn't it? It's like, hey, we're here, watch out. And they're not exactly shying away from making some big claims, are they?
No, not at all.
I mean, better than Google's Gemini, outperforming GPT-4 on some of the benchmarks.
Yeah, they're really going for it.
It's exciting stuff. It's easy to get swept up in all the hype, but, maybe we should pump the brakes a little, look a little closer at what's actually going on.
Yeah, for sure. We have to remember, we're basically taking XAI's word for it right now. I mean, it's their data. Getting some independent verification is going to be really important.
That makes sense.
Before we really crown Grok 3 the champion, we need to see how it holds up under scrutiny.
Right.
Plus, it's interesting that they didn't include some other big players in their comparisons.
Oh, like who?
Well, OpenAI's O3 Mini, for one, and DeepSeek's R1 model.
So maybe not the undisputed champ just yet.
Yeah, the jury's still out.
Okay. But one thing that really jumped out at me is this deep search feature they're talking about. I don't know if you saw that, but it's supposed to be different from just your regular keyword matching. It's like it actually tries to understand what you're looking for.
Right.
And then finds information on a much deeper level.
Yeah.
Is that like a real breakthrough? Or is it just some fancy marketing speak?
I think it could be pretty significant. Think about it. You're trying to research something complex, like...
Ooh, I know, like the ethics of gene editing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of getting bombarded with a ton of random links, Grok 3 could actually, analyze all these research papers, news articles, even discussions happening online, and then synthesize all that information into a report just for you, answering your specific question.
Wow, that would be
that
would be incredible. It'd be like having a personal research assistant.
Right.
Like always on call. And speaking of AI doing amazing things, did you see that Grok 3 can code online games?
I did.
I mean, come on.
That's something else, isn't it?
That's crazy.
It really shows how AI is becoming more than just one thing.
Right.
It's blurring the lines between research and work. And even creative fields like game design. It's wild.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Like AI can code a game today, so what's stopping it from designing entire virtual worlds tomorrow?
Right. What's next?
It's kind of mind-blowing.
It is. And then what does that do to the entertainment industry?
Yeah.
I mean, will it change how we even experience reality?
That's getting a little deep.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got this crazy, powerful AI, can do deep research, writes code, maybe even designs worlds. But what's the secret? How is it so much better than what came before?
Well, according to XAI, a lot of it comes down to raw power.
Oh, okay.
Grok 3 is running on 10 times the computing power of Grok 2.
Wow.
And that's all thanks to their brand new data center. And I think this highlights something really important about this whole AI race.
What's that?
It's not just about the algorithms, It's also about the infrastructure. You need bigger, more powerful data centers to create these more complex, capable models.
Yeah, it's like an arms race on multiple fronts.
Exactly.
And it's not just the U.S. playing the game anymore.
No, not at all. You mentioned DeepSeek from China before.
Yeah.
They're coming up with some really impressive models, too. Like their R1 model, it's getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
Because it's incredibly efficient.
What do you mean by efficient?
It can get results that are comparable to some of the top U.S. models.
Okay.
But it uses way less computing power to do it.
So they're punching above their weight.
Yeah, you could say that. It definitely suggests that the U.S. might not have the unchallenged lead in AI that it used to.
Wow. It's a global game now.
Absolutely.
Okay, so back to Musk and XAI.
Yeah.
He's been pretty upfront about Grok 3 still being in beta. Acknowledging there are going to be glitches, limitations.
Right.
But also promising these super fast improvements. What do you make of that approach?
I think it's smart.
Yeah.
He's setting realistic expectations
Mm-hmm.
by being upfront about the limitations, but he's still building excitement,
Makes sense.
for what Grok 3 could become. And then there's the whole voice mode thing they announced.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say.
It's like they're trying to make Grok 3 more conversational.
Like ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly. Which makes a lot of sense, right? People want to interact with AI in a way that feels natural.
It just makes it easier.
Right. It lowers the barrier to entry,
Mm.
makes AI more accessible to more people. But this also brings us back to those big questions we always have to ask.
Like what?
Well, as these models get more powerful, as they become more integrated into our lives,
Yeah.
who has control? How do we ensure that they're used ethically, responsibly?
Those are some pretty heavy questions.
They are.
It's hard to say where all this is going, isn't it?
It really is. But that's part of what makes it so fascinating, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. It's like we're watching a technological revolution unfold in real time.
That's exactly what it is.
And we're all part of it.
And we all have a responsibility to stay informed,
Right.
to keep asking these tough questions, to think critically about what role we want AI to play in our lives.
You're right. Grok 3 is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a puzzle that's constantly changing.
Every single day.
Here's something to think about, right?
Okay.
If AI can already create these realistic images,
Yeah.
write these compelling stories,
Uh-huh.
even code interactive games,
Right.
is it really that crazy to imagine a future where AI can create entire personalized experiences for us?
Wow.
Like, think about it. Virtual worlds, tailored to our own preferences, desires. What does that do to our sense of reality? What happens when the line between the real and the simulated becomes, impossible to see?
That's a big one.
It's pretty wild to think about, isn't it?
It is. It really makes you wonder what's coming next.
Exactly. And that's something we're all going to have to grapple with.
We are. It's going to be an interesting ride, that's for sure.